Hello, everyone. This is your publisher, Kristen Brinley. I'm here with the wonderful Carolyn Sappenfield. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be on this.
Absolutely. Well, hey, you are our cover story. So, our May edition, if y'all haven't read it, make sure that you do. Tell me, why real estate? How did this happen?
First, I want to say thank you. It was great being part of the publication. It was really special and a big honor to be the cover story. I loved all the people I met through real producers along the way and the new relationships I've formed. So that's been awesome. Why real estate? You know, I sort of accidentally got into it, but I have found that I absolutely love the journey that I get to go on with my clients. Because if you think about it, for most people, this is their biggest investment. And there's different parts to it, of course. There's the financial investment, there's the emotional and sort of family investment. And it's such a special part of people's lives. And I get to go on that journey, whether they're buying and we're finding a great place for them to settle down, or maybe an investment, or maybe it's both. Or maybe we help them build their nest egg. Like this morning, I was talking to young first-time home buyers, and I was suggesting to them that whatever they purchase now, they consider keeping it in their long-term portfolio because it will inevitably grow. We're in the DC metro area. This is a tried and true market. So I love it. And I discovered that I am probably naturally inclined when it comes to sales, and I really thrive, and it just never gets old. It's always something new. So I feel fortunate to have a job I love so much.
Well, you're naturally, you connect with people. Tell me, what are you working on right now? What's important for you and your team now?
What's really important is that we are coming up with creative strategies to deal with a shifting market. So I've been doing this for 19 years. I lived through the recession and the mortgage crisis from '08 to 12. And when I got into it, we were in a really wild market. And so it was a big learning process for me when the market shifted. I was so fortunate to have really good mentors, and I've been with the same brokerage all along. Right now, what we're doing is just embracing the shifting market and coming up with ways that we can help our clients continue to succeed. So if it's buyers, it's figuring out how they can still get what they want, even though their buying power might have diminished a little bit with the rise in interest rates. But we're coming up with strategies to negotiate on their behalf and find places that still fit their needs. And then with sellers, it's helping them still realize the greatest gain that the market is going to offer, and just recognizing that it's not going to be like it was even 3 months ago, where you'd put a house on the market on a Thursday and you were lucky if you made it through the weekend. But there's still tons of success to be had. And I think the most important thing in our business is to always stay ahead of the curve. You cannot get stale in your practices. You've got to get creative with your marketing techniques and your negotiations. So that's what we're really working on right now. That's our big focus. And we saw this coming. It came actually a little later than we were expecting it to. So I feel like we were very well prepared.
No, that's fantastic. Not sitting on the laurels, man. You were on it. Tell us a little bit more about maybe what's been, because you have a small team, like you haven't expanded to a big, you like to keep it tight.
Yeah.
Tell us about the maybe some of the rewards and challenges of having a team and
Yeah, it is very different when you're doing this on your own versus when you have a team to collaborate with and you have the resources to do more, to give back to your clients, your community, to improve your marketing, just to have everybody kind of wear the hat that they're best suited to wear and not trying to do it all on your own. So I've kept the team small because what is very important to me is the level of customer service that we provide to our clients. And we always want it to be a very personalized experience. I think it keeps our business strong and it improves the consumer experience. That's the most important reason. And it contributes to that repeat and referral system that we've done a really good job with. So I like that. I know that there are lots of big successful teams out there, and my hat's off to them, but I have found that if you grow too fast, it can diminish the quality. So I'm reluctant to do that, or grow too large, I should say.
Tell us a little bit about like your family. You're on our Mother's Day issue, and tell us about your family.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, some people know this about me, but a lot of people are surprised to learn that I am one of 11 children in my family. And everyone's first question is always, are you Catholic? And I'm like, kind of, but not that kind of Catholic. We're not a family of 11 because of traditional Catholic values. My parents were first generation French and Egyptian. They came to DC, and my father, it was really driven more by my father, but he wanted a huge family, and my mom supported that, and they just kept going. And so growing up in this, we grew up in Bethesda. We were a very unusual family because we had such a large family, and because we weren't your typical kind of American Bethesda middle class family. We were really unique, and things were chaotic, and the generations they overlap in our family. Like my youngest brother is only 9 months older than my oldest nephew. And so my mom and my older sister were, almost pregnant at the same time, which is really funny and odd. But we have this great big family, and despite having grown up with a lot of chaos and kind of being different, and there were challenges with that, but it gave me a lot of the life skills that I have today. It forced me to do things that I might not have done had I not been, the ninth of 11 children. I'm also at the bottom. So when you're number 9 and there's 11, it's kind of like take a number. But it helped me to be a go-getter. It helped me learn a lot of coping skills and a lot of skills to just deal with, what happens in real life, which is there's challenges, and you've got to think outside the box, and you've got to be your own advocate and put yourself out there and take some risks. So I didn't get to follow in the same footsteps. I had always kind of dreamed of having more kids. I thought 5 kids would be great, but when I got around to having my own, I stopped at 2. So I have 2 sons. I have been blessed to now have a stepdaughter as well. So there's 3. And for a period of time, I also fostered another son. So I feel very fortunate, but we're a little bit smaller on the family side.
Well, that is quite an experience. That's like having a whole baseball team, or in the
Yes.
house. Can you define success for us? Like, what's success mean to you?
There's so many things in our environment, and there's so many stressors, and there's so many challenges, and making your health your priority and taking care of yourself so that you can be successful in other facets of your life is really important. So I would add that. I would put that at the top of my list. But success to me is 2 parts. One, financial freedom, because I think it's so important for everybody, especially for women, but really for everyone. And 2, waking up every day and just really liking what you do, and being able to look in the mirror and say, I'm happy with me. I'm happy with what I'm doing for others. I feel fulfilled. And it doesn't, we're all different. It doesn't matter what that is, but you need to, if you're waking up feeling that way more often than not, then I think you're successful.
I know that's a pretty darn good definition of success right there. Can you tell me maybe what you're learning, or if someone is a real producer, or looking to get to the next level, like what things would you recommend, that they read or they do, or
Yeah. I think it's really important for everyone to have a coach at some point in your career. And sometimes you need it multiple times. Sometimes it's like having a good therapist in life. I'm a big believer in that. There are experiences that you go through where you just need a little more support, and you need a third party to give you a different perspective. And a business coach is not that different. Sometimes you have to step back and say, I bet there are ways I can improve my business, or take it to the next level, or learn how to deal with challenges that constantly come up. So I think a business coach is huge. A lot of agents will say, but it's so expensive and I don't know if it's worth the money. And I will tell you that it always pays for itself. You need to find the right one. Again, similar to a therapist, it's got to be someone you connect with, someone you respect. But they hold you accountable, they teach you new strategies, and you usually get involved with their network where you learn more from agents in other markets. So that to me is really important. I am not currently working with one, but I do make a point of going through business coaching every few years. And I think the other really important thing to succeed in this business is to stay ahead of the curve and not get set in your ways. Like everybody else, I get comfortable with things I know, with predictability, with routine, but we have had so many disruptors in our field. And if you don't stay ahead of the curve and understand how you can stay just as valuable and to your clients and to the community, and if you really just need to embrace learning the new things that are out there. And Bright MLS, for example, or MLS, they keep coming out with new products. And I know sometimes people are reluctant to even click on the tutorial to see what that product is. A silly example is showing time. I don't know how many years we've had showing time for. I'd say at least 5. I've lost track. But for the longest time, it amazed me how many agents wouldn't use this free service that is included with our MLS subscription to set up showings. And now virtually everyone uses it. You're really an oddball if you don't. But it took years for people to catch on to that. And that's a small thing that makes your business more efficient. So overall, look for the big things, get some coaching. Even when you think you're at the top of your game, recognize there's always more room for growth and never let yourself get stale.
That is amazing advice. Everyone should listen to that. That's amazing advice.
Thank you. Oh, and update your picture.
Oh, yes. That is
Yeah.
a thing in real estate. We do see some pictures.
Yeah. Well, people don't realize that you're more relatable if you're actually the person that someone sees online when they meet you. They feel like you're more genuine, you're more relatable. And sometimes we hang on to something we love from the past, but it's not actually helping us grow.
That's also very good advice. I do see some old pictures here and there. Do you have a favorite quote or anything you want to share with everybody?
It's an oldie but a goodie. Well, if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. I think that comes from sort of my life history of, again, growing up in an unusual family, dealing with just challenges, being part of such a large group, and then life experiences. When I was in my early 20s, I thought I had everything figured out, and I had this very idealistic mentality. And as I grew older, I experienced other things that I never saw coming. And there were times when I thought, how will I ever get through this? Or, just how do I cope? And when you get past that, you realize it didn't kill me, it made me stronger. And I think I'm just more prepared and I'm a stronger, wiser person as a result. So when you're going through those tough times, you have to believe that you will get through it and you will be stronger on the other side.
That wisdom. Yeah. We were talking earlier and you're a native Washingtonian too. That's also a rarity, by the way, of when I'm interviewing people, I'm like, oh, that's, I don't hear that all the time.
It is a rarity. And I went to college here as well. So I never left. That was actually one of my regrets. I do wish I had gone away to college and lived somewhere else and experienced another environment outside of the DC metro, but I went to American University. I got a good education and I'm grateful to have had that opportunity anyway.
Yeah. Well, hey, and we were talking travel earlier too. So you're getting that done in a good way too, right? Like,
yeah. Yep, we just got back from this incredible trip in Europe. We went to Spain for a week. We were on the island of Mallorca, and then we jumped over to Naples, Italy, and spent a week on the Amalfi Coast. And we capped it off with a couple nights in Rome, and it was just incredible. And I've been back for about less than 2 weeks, maybe 10 days, and I've been saying, I'm the opposite of homesick. I am vacation sick. I just want to go back and take in more. And yeah, it's special when you get to do it, at any age in your life. But I think the older you get, the more you appreciate these experiences, and you have this hunger to learn about other cultures and understand how they do things and why. And I'm looking forward to more years of travel and exploration.
What would you personally like to be remembered for? What would Carolyn Sappenfield like to be remembered for?
I think my generosity, and I say that not just in terms of financial or material generosity, but generosity with my time, and giving back to others in the community, whether it's small things, helping someone in need or being there for someone going through a difficult life transition, but also the big stuff. And then, leading big community efforts, or giving back in larger ways. So I'd say I want to be remembered for that. That's something I really strive to do. And I strive to be there for people who need me. So generosity and probably loyalty. Those are two really important things to me. I am fiercely loyal, sometimes even at my own expense. And, but I just think, there's not that many things you can count on in this world, but if you've got loyal friends, loyal relationships, you can always fall back on that. And that's important. So I would say those two things are the most important thing to be remembered by.
I love it. Well, I really appreciate your time here today with us and sharing with our community. And if y'all haven't read her story yet, make sure you do. And thanks very much for being here.
Thank you so much, Kristen. It's been great. I really appreciate it.
Have a good day, everybody.
Hey, take care.